you'd find that there are so many programs that are intended at achieving the same goals, but there are silos. Shalate is on her corner there doing something. Dr. Brink is at her corner there doing something. And so this show, I understand it's not only empowering graduates, but empowering the youth of South Africa. And I'm excited that we are debuting it here at our alma mater with my fellow alumni.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
22. It is before the hour 8. Let's get now into the real conversation. I'll briefly tell you who we do have here. 3 of the important guests as we kickstart what is an equally important initiative here today. We do have Ms. Shalate Davana, who's a certified chartered public relations practitioner endorsed by the Public Relations Institute of South Africa, PRISA, possessing 20 years of collective professional experience in journalism, stakeholder engagement, marketing, public relation, and fundraising in both public and private sectors. She's already in studio with us. Ms. Shalate, thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, and we also have Kedibone Mahapa, who's already joining us in studio. In fact, let me correct that. That's Kedibone. Let me get that right. I don't want to butcher your surname. Remember, that's the boss I'm talking to. You got to you got to tread exceedingly carefully here as you conduct the business. But the station manager, also part and parcel of this particular conversation, highly accomplished radio executive with over 2 decades of experience in the radio industry, has extensive skill set, encompasses administration, radio presenting, production, news, reading, investigative journalism, field reporting, sales and advertising, sound editing, mentorship, as well as coaching. Already in studio with us, heavily experienced as well. Just after the show, I'll rattle past the educational background or just in between the conversations as well. Already in studio with us, Ms. Mahapa, thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Good evening, Obakeng, and good evening, the listener at home.
All right, we also have Dr. Roelien Brink on the line to us, obviously from the Tshwane University of Technology, as well involved in work integrated learning for 15 years and obtained her PhD in information management with the title An Information Management Framework for the Work Integrated Learning Process. On the line now to us, Dr. Roelien, thank you so much as well for joining us on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you so much. It's an honor.
It's going to be a fascinating conversation. Let's start here. We'll start, of course, with the station manager with us here. Obviously, you found the important, Ms. Mahapa, to be part and parcel of an important project like Plug a Graduate. Why did the radio station find the need to be part and parcel of this?
Thank you, Obakeng. Last year, when we were attending an event in Pretoria, we were just chatting informally with Shalate.
Yes.
And then as we were talking, then she came up with an idea.
Yeah.
And then we adopted it immediately.
Right.
To say, we are doing it.
Right.
That's where it all started.
What made sense to you about that particular project for you to say, I'm not going to think twice about this?
One other thing is that last year we knew that this year TUT will be turning 30 years.
Right.
Turning 30 years, celebrating the station's 30th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just observe milestone.
Right.
We are also igniting the new wave of community development.
Right.
In making sure that we empower the graduates.
Right.
That's when, we started to adopt this, to say it came at the right time.
Yeah.
Yes, where the station is celebrating 30 years.
Right.
And just by our long, rich history of 30 years in the sector, TUT FM is saying we are continuing to focus on empowering young minds and graduates.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where it all started. And as well as helping them to pave the way to shape their their tomorrow.
Right.
Yes.
Ms. Shalate is another important part of this conversation. In a moment, I'll give you a brief sense of who she really is. But she's saying it started off as just a lazy conversation. It has reached a point where it has taken a shape of a full strength initiative. Why did you start that conversation in the first place? I mean, when did you begin to think about it?
It's been in my mind for quite a long time. In the Alumni Relations, we have at least 200 to 300,000 alumni on our database, and we're only communicating to about 120 and thousand. So when we did our research with some of the external researchers, it emerged that the topics that our alumni are interested in, they have to do with employment. And somehow we're not communicating with them what they really wanted to know. And it's not surprising, because when you look at the youth unemployment in South Africa, it has reached unprecedented levels. But it still gives us hope that within that, the graduates amounts to almost the least of unemployed people. Now, as a university that prides itself with empowering people, you can see who you have empowered in your alumni. If your alumni is not empowered, it's joining a crew of unemployed, frustrated graduate. Then what do you mean when you say you empower people? In Sesotho, there is a saying that say, I think it's Northern Sesotho, ditau tša hloka seboka, di hloka ke nare, di šitwa ke nare e hloja. It simply means it takes a village to raise a child. Now, whereas we understand that there is a huge gap in unemployment. There are employment opportunities in many places. What we needed to do, we needed a powerful medium that could connect the employers to the graduates. And we couldn't do it better than partnering with a radio station and the Department of Cooperative Education, because when you talk about the radio station, a community radio station, they're in the heart of a community. They understand. So this show, I understand, it's not only empowering graduates, but empowering the youth of South Africa. And I'm excited that we are debuting it here at our alma mater with my fellow alumni. But the most important thing is to take into cognizance that it is important to cooperate. When we cooperate, we can all win.
All right. So give us a brief sense. I just wanted firstly to get a sense of the work that you do in your office. You are a manager at the Alumni Relations and Fundraising. What do you do there? Just give us a sense of the work that goes into your office.
I'll try to be brief. So the Alumni Relations Office falls within the Advancement and Partnerships Office, which has, the name is almost self-explanatory, but its role is to mobilize resources for the university for the benefit of the students. So everything we do revolves, there's a student at the center of everything that we do. Now, our role is to encourage alumni, one, to be part of the alma mater activities, to give back. Now, how do we encourage people to give back when they've got nothing?
Exactly.
TUT, at any given point, we have at least 10 to 15,000 graduates a year. Now, that makes us one of the biggest employment, labor producer. I don't want to use labor, but producer of professionals in South Africa. We need to do our bit in assisting our graduates to be employed, to be entrepreneurs, and we can all start small. We don't know how far this is going to go, but taking small steps will eventually get to where we want to. So in the advancement and partnerships, I'm responsible for alumni relations and fundraising, where we do communicating with alumni. We have started with our alumni rejuvenation strategy. We have established alumni chapters so that we formalize how we engage with our alumni. Also give them an opportunity to say, this is what we think we can do best for the university. Because some of them, remember, TUT is a merger from 3 technicons. So we might be celebrating 20 years, but we are almost, 40-something year old.
Sure.
So we believe that our old alumni from the previous technicons can actually add value, because most of them are highly skilled professionals and entrepreneurs. So we're trying to, as you have mentioned, bridge that generation gap between our former technicians and the current TUT alumni.
All right. We also have, let me bring in Dr. Roelien Brink into this conversation, the Director of Cooperative Education. Dr. Brink, what is your role in all of this, and what does your department do in the overall scheme of things as far as this initiative is concerned?
Okay, I first need to say I'm so excited for this project.
Yeah.
This is for me close to my heart, as I have a hashtag for 2024, and my hashtag is silos must fall.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, way back we have fees must fall, but mine is silos must fall.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that we can take hands together, the radio station, with the alumni office and my office, because my office, the Directorate of Cooperative Education, look after the students, preparing them for the world of work.
Yeah.
Give them the necessary skills. And I always said to my colleagues globally, in South Africa, overseas, you can't start preparing a student in their final year for the world of work. It's too late.
True.
We need to give the students the skills and the opportunities and start branding the students. The day when they register at the university, the Tshwane University of Technology, we need to take their hand, we need to coach them, we need to mentor them, we need to give them skills.
Yeah.
We need to connect them with the network of industry so that they are known within their field. So when they arrive in their third year, it's not a problem for them to find a job, because the industry will already know them.
Yeah.
Because we need to remember that a certificate or a qualification or a diploma is only a driver's license for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say that you can do the job.
Yeah.
You need that extra skills built in from your first year within your qualification.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have those extra skills and you have a qualification, then you can say, I can find a job. Then you are prepared for the world of work.
Right.
So that's why we need to work together closely with our alumni. I've started at TUT exactly a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my first intervention was with the alumni office, because I believe that the alumni office need to work closely with my office, because the alumni need to give back to their community.
Mm-hmm.
Who is their community? The TUT is their community.
Yeah.
So our alumni, if you are listening, please contact us. You need to work together with us to prepare the youth for the future, because they are our future, is the youth of South Africa. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Roelien Brink, obviously part and parcel of this conversation. I'll get back to you, Mahapa, in playing the role that the station will be playing. What do you promise the listeners of this particular station, especially with regard to the result they can expect out of this initiative, if you like?
As part of our turnaround strategy, Obakeng, when we were embarking on the road to test years, you will bear in mind that we have already introduced a new logo. We have rebranded the station, and then we introduced a new motto that says, amplifying voices, empowering lives.
True.
It carries a lot of weight. And then we wanted to make sure that we resonate with the motto of the station, and being seen out there, being the voice of the voiceless. You understand? So it is evident. We do have a work integrated learning program whereby we get the student from journalism to come and do experiential training. But at the end of the experiential training, then you find that they still want to remain working, because they have not yet received job opportunities out there. Yes.
You've made an interesting point, especially around bridging that gap. That there's obviously that concern generally in the country, that there seems to be no link between the kind of people we are producing in our higher learning institution and the job market proper. What do you think create this particular gap in your observation?
Well, I think the first thing would be what Dr. Brink has alluded to, working in silos. You'd find that there are so many programs that are intended at achieving the same goals, but there are silos. Shalate is on her corner there doing something. Dr. Brink is at her corner there doing something. And the radio becomes now the most powerful platform to send the message across. Because, with the digital age, you can actually access this show everywhere. And what else can we do best for our children and our students? Sorry, I'm a parent. I always refer to the students as children. They will forgive me.
Sure.
But what also important is that we want, when the student leave the university, to be able to understand the skill set that is required. So what we intend to do is to have those who are already in the field to actually bring mentor students. So this is not only about, when we say we can plug you with anything.
Yes.
We plug you with bursaries, we plug you with will. But the most important thing, when we got some of the feedback, is that some of the students, they are having great marks, but they're unable to gel in the entrepreneurship. They're unable to gel in the work situation. And it's soft skills that are necessary that will assist you to succeed in a corporate world. So it's not only about the academic, but you need to know how to behave. And, we have some alumni that are actually employing our students. So what I'm talking about, I have not made it up. They say your students are brilliant, but these are the areas that we can improve so that they can excel. So we are saying, let us go higher. We can do it. And the alumni is ready. To support the student, to bridge that technology gap. I did my first journalism qualification in, I don't want to give my age, but it was in the late 90s.
Okay.
How much has the world of media changed between then and today? So you can put me to the newsroom today at Sunday World. I might not even be able to do anything. You could see how perplexed I was when I got into the studio today, tripping on the mics and stuff like that. So things have changed and we need to evolve with time.
All right. Doctor, I'll throw pretty much the same question to you, just in terms of what creates that particular gap that you want to bridge between academics and the world of job. From your observation, what really makes that gap worse? It's growing progressively worse. What could be the causes there in terms of widening that gap?
The problem at the moment is that the industry is not linked to the qualifications and to the universities. The industry needs to be more involved with the qualifications. So a simple example is, if you get an industry member to do a guest lecture, if we talk about work integrated learning, there's different modalities that you can do in different years. So students can work in their community, or the industry can come in with a societal problem and say, let's brainstorm this problem, put the students in groups and say, okay, pick a group leader after 10 minutes. What is your solution to the problem? So immediately you teach the students to critical think about the problem and to come up with solutions. But that is missing. That we need to get the industry on the campuses and say, come and teach our students what is happening. Because remember, your professors and your doctors standing in front of the class don't work in the industry. They have the book knowledge, but not always the practical knowledge. So I'm also a very strong believer that I really think that students need to do work integrated learning, but lecturers also need to do like a 1 week work integrated learning to see what's really happening within industry.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, you do PRO or you do radio 20 years back, but if you was not in the industry busy, you will not see the changes. Now, imagine I am a lecturer in journalism, for example, and I'm not active within that space. Am I going to give my students the practical experience? Or do I need to get someone like yourself in my classroom and say, come and do a practical example to my students? So that's where the gap is. We need to get the industry in the classrooms, and we need to take hands and we need to work together. So that's why my hashtag is the silos need to fall. Industry, academia, and the students need to take hands and say we work together as a team, because we want to prepare the students better for the world of work.
All right, it's exactly just a minute before the hour 8. We're going to take a very quick ad break in case you've just walked in. This is an every Wednesday conversation between the hour 19:30 and 20:30. That's 7:30 and 8 o'clock. We plug a graduate. We are TUT FM 96.2, amplifying voices and empowering lives. We are also on iono.fm/s/92 worldwide. We take a break. We're back after this. All right, it's 5 minutes after the hour 8. Welcome back. I see there are some of the WhatsApp messages that are coming in. So listen in from wherever you are, some in Emalahleni. We'll read those particular WhatsApp messages. Remember, if you also want to send a WhatsApp message to us here, you use the 012-382-9257 number. I repeat that, it's 012-382-9257. You can send those voice notes. Keep them coming. We'll play those in right here. It's a plug a graduate. It's a Wednesday. So let me get immediately, without much further ado, and immediately after that we'll get to some of the questions that we have for our guest here. But we have one message coming from one of our listeners here saying, "Hi, my name is Piwe. I have a BTech in electrical engineering from TUT, currently unemployed. I graduated in 2021 at Emalahleni campus." I suppose that's exactly what you're talking about, Shalate, is that there seem to be that obvious gap.
Precisely. And that is why it is important that we inviting corporates, because we know they have programs. There are CSI programs, there are skills development programs, the bursary programs. We're inviting them to be part of these initiatives, so that, you know, the I don't want to, the alumni that has just say, I have graduated and this is what I have, we can be able to connect employers to potential employees.
Right. One of the listeners here have obviously sent a CV already, an indication that he get the sense that he might be hired as in tomorrow. So CVs are beginning to trickle in there. So send them in on 012-382-9257. All right, let me come to Dr. Roelien now. Let me bring you into the conversation, Doctor. I see you've placed a lot of emphasis, even quoting from a Japanese proverb there, in trying to make that point. But you seem to be placing stronger emphasis on issues like transformation, social impact, as well as accessibility. How does a project like a Plug a Graduate facilitate that overall vision, if I may?
Okay, Plug a Graduate can assist us to get the students who are unemployed, because we do have a portal, we call it My Job Portal, and if the students go to the website, they will find it on the website, on the TUT website, where they register their CVs. And then for them to send the CVs to us, we as TUT, as the directorate, send out the CVs from a centralized point. So they need to register their CVs on the job portal, and then we can then distribute it, because the companies are contacting us, and asking for students. For an example, I've just placed 61 students for 2 years for work integrated learning project within engineering for the next 2 years, where they will receive stipends and possible work opportunities thereafter. But the alumni that are unemployed, they need to register on that portal so that we at the university can assist them when the companies are asking us for students.
Right.
Because I am in very contact with all the industries, trying to find job opportunities for the students. But what this program will assist is helping the students to get the skills before they are third year. Because even it will help for our alumni as well, but for our first and second years, it will assist those students with certain soft skills before they go to their work integrated learning placement. And for those students who graduate to say that I've done so many hours, because this program linked them to the industry, they will get the contact of the industries that will be on this program, because if you invite the industry, they will automatically have that contact. And then what you do is you go on their LinkedIn profile and you go and see what that person is doing, and you get in contact with that person. It's very important to start building a network. And that is what students need to understand. You need to start building a network in your discipline from your first year right through your career.
Right. Ms. Shalate, you've spoken as well about creating an economically and viable environment for this young students. How do we make sure that becomes a reality?
When I started this conversation, I said I work in the Advancement and Partnerships Office, and that's exactly our role.
Right.
To find partners that are willing to assist students and alumni.
Right.
When you are in a country that is, growing as what we call ourselves a developing country.
Yes.
You come across economic challenges. As you are developing from one world to another, you come across such economic challenges. But it is a responsibility for all of us to create an economically viable environment. And by so saying, I'm saying, as I've mentioned before, let us have a platform where I can say my name is Shalate. I have graduated in 2001 with electric engineering. There is an employer that is probably listening at that point, and they're looking for someone like that.
Right.
It cuts a whole lot of time in terms of plugging someone. When you plug something, it illuminates.
Right.
The electricity goes in instantly.
Right.
That's why we're saying we want to offer real-time jobs for students. So we'll be inviting corporates that are having job opportunity to say, my name is this, I'm from this entity, and these are the positions that I have at the moment, and these are the qualifications that I'm looking for.
Right.
To add
please add
on
on
what
that.
my colleague has just said. Just yesterday, we knew that when we start this, a feasibility study has already been there. It is evident.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, after we have posted on social media, then we receive a call from somebody who's working in a company who's willing to also contribute on this program.
Wow. So
it's going to be big.
Already getting off to a flying start. I'm sure this is quite encouraging news. Now, we do have one WhatsApp that's coming in. Obviously, this is Sam. And he's saying he's a recent graduate currently seeking job opportunities. He received an email regarding the new Plug a Graduate program. So it is getting that traction and it's reaching the right people, safe to say.
to some extent.
Yeah.
And I'd like to encourage all graduates to update your details on our database. And you can do so by sending us your newest contact information on alumni@tut.ac.za.
Yeah.
Or you can log on to the TUT website and follow the links to update your details.
Yeah.
That would assist you to get opportunities. We are able to communicate with you. He says he got it through an email.
Yes.
That is from our system, from our database that we have on our alumni.
Right.
Now we depend on alumni to update and put on their recent information so that they do not miss opportunities. Further to that, they can follow our pages. We do post information and we do post job opportunities, bursaries when we come across them.
Yeah.
But this time we're not going to wait and to come across opportunities. We're going to go out there, look for those opportunities for our graduates and our students.
Oh, great point.
And plug them here with you.
Plug them here with us. But I was Kedibone, from your point of view, I'm sure as a station manager, you'd be thinking more of this same graduate being a listener whose life has to change. How is this initiative going to change what you would consider a listener, what I would consider a graduate? How is that somebody's life going to change through this program by listening basically to your radio station?
Exactly, by listening. And we know that we do have listeners who are listening, who have been listening, who have been, longing to hear this kind of information.
Yeah.
And we say TUT FM is a potential platform for you to get that information. If you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And we're not just even the amplifying voices for a graduate, any community member, including the businesses. We do have potential to connect the businesses with their potential buyers as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great point. Listen, Doctor, let me not leave you there and allow you to weigh in on this particular conversation. I'm interested that you had to draw from Japan to make a point, really. But this is an important point. You're saying the bamboo that bends is stronger than an oak tree that resists. # stronger together. Surely you're trying to communicate some message. How does this fit into the conversation we're having now?
Okay. The link there is we need to, the biggest skills that we can give a student is to be adaptable.
Yeah.
And because in any working environment, if you don't have adaptability as a skill, you're going to struggle within the working place.
Right.
And the bamboo can bend and can take any form and come back to the original form. If you look at the oak tree, if you bend the leaf or anything, what happened with the oak tree? It resists to bend. It resists to change. So we need to prepare our students to be adaptable for any working environment.
Right.
And that's why that proverb, that Japanese proverb, is so... It links to plug in a graduate, because what are we doing with plug a graduate? We create adaptable, agile, future fit students. And that's what TUT needs to stand for. We are empowering our students to be adaptable, meaning agile, future fit students that can fit in any situation and can adapt to, if you are in the IT environment, there's a new skill that you need to learn quickly. You can adapt to that situation.
Right.
And that's why I have that proverb and saying, and always we need to remember that we are stronger together.
Yeah.
If you work in silos, you will not be successful. I can only be successful with my team in my directorate. If I'm doing my work alone, I will not be successful and will not be able to achieve. So if we are standing together and breaking the silos and work together with industry, students, and with all the stakeholders internally, like your alumni, like the radio station, like the faculties, like all the departments, taking hands, and we work together, we're going to have a stronger employees at the end of the day.
Right. And maybe you can respond to this, whatever you say there, Dr. Brink, is there's a WhatsApp message that's coming in there. It's a very, very brief message. The name not addressed there, but it says, hello, I need employment. I'm a TUT alumni. Do you have any response, perhaps any word for a message like that?
Yes, I'm asking the students or the alumni that is unemployed and looking for job opportunities. They need to go on the job portal and they need to register the CVs. As soon as we then receive the companies asking us for students, then we can send them the CVs. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for us to link the students with the industry. The students need to register on the job portal.
Right.
Because if an IT company is phoning me and asking me for 20 CVs, then I go on the web portal and I print out those CVs. And not print out, I download the CVs and I email it with an attachment to the company.
Right.
So that is the way forward. I will just I will send you the link to the job portal.
Yeah.
And yes, and then we can work from there.
All right. Let me get to you, Mahapa. You would have worked with so many projects in your life of long experience as a station manager. How does this project differ from any other initiative that you've been involved in?
This is a very big project that we have ever, as the station, embarked on.
Wow.
I must say.
Sure.
So we are very excited.
Right.
Yes.
I know that you've already mentioned the fact that they should go actually into the job portal, and I hear Dr. Brink is also making mention of that as well. But we do have a message that's coming in from somebody who's saying, can I get more information? Saying, hello, can I get more info on this? By this, I don't certainly know what she means, but I would imagine she means like a graduate. Where do they get access that information in detail if they wanted to at all?
Okay, I think going forward now, our alumni and job seekers should keep on checking our social media pages.
Yeah.
Those who are registered on the database of alumni, they should be on the lookout for adverts that we'll be sending, because after this we have actually been speaking to some of the employers. They say they'll be coming into the show.
Right.
We have been speaking to talent scouting agencies who are looking for staff for entities, and they will be coming to the show. But one thing that I also want to emphasize, OBK, is that this is not only a TUT initiative.
Oh, yes.
And it's not intended to only benefit TUT.
Oh, yeah.
TUT, it finds itself situated in a community where Soshanguve is one of the largest townships in Gauteng.
Right.
If not South Africa, with at least about 1 million inhabitants. So the opportunities that we'll be bringing there, they're not necessarily only for graduates. We'll be bringing life coaches and mentors. When you look at somebody who has been unemployed for quite a long time, they tend to, give up on seeking for employment. We get rejected so many times when we send our CVs. We get rejected when you go for interviews, and sometimes you might feel discouraged. That's why we are inviting life coaches and mentors.
Yeah.
That's why we're inviting experts in talent scout. What is it that you need to do so that you get noticed?
Yeah.
When you get into an interview, how can we best prepare you so that we make use of that opportunity? It's not only about the jobs being available, but we want to plug you with quality people.
Right.
So this is for the benefit of the entire, not only Soshanguve, because I know you only also broadcast everywhere.
Yeah.
So those who can access those opportunities, those who are able to tune in, we encourage you to tune in and be a little bit patient with us because we are starting.
Yes.
But we have already received quite a positive and overwhelming response to say we want to be part of this.
Oh, great stuff. Dr. Brink, let me come back to you. There seemed to be one question that I'd like you to address here. Question is Plug a Graduate a new TUT recruitment platform, if you got the gist of that question at all?
No, I don't think it's a recruitment platform.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of students will get talks from industry, successful alumni on their journey on how did they get to a successful point, entrepreneurs, small, medium. So it's going to be a mix. Yes, there will be recruitment opportunities, but I think that through the radio station, if there's job opportunities coming into my office, I can always, on a Wednesday, send you the link and we can have an advertise it on this our show. If a company looking for, but it's not purely just for recruitment. This is more of skills building together with recruitment. So it's a mixture of different components, if I can say so. All right,
maybe I'll leave this one to you. Another WhatsApp message that's coming in there. Good evening, it's Matome Musina here. I'm a TUT graduate. I'm texting regarding the email I've received from TUT with the topic of Plug a Graduate. So I wanted to know the procedure of the job application or be enlightened about the topic, etc. So I think you've touched basically on a lot of things, but just to give further information on how they can access information around the procedure of the job application. Anything to add there?
Of course, the job application procedure will be coming from the employers themselves. So there is no standard job application procedure. What we'll be doing, we'll be getting job opportunities, we'll be getting employers in the studio to say these are the jobs that I have and this is the procedure and these are the requirements I'm looking for. But, if I may divert a little bit about this program, she said it was big. And I agree with that in a sense that, without pouring water on the entertainment industry. We tend to be excited about shows that are like, social, shows that expose the side of society that is demeaning.
Right.
And, the effort and the that we take in producing them and the effort and the time that we take in consuming such content, we want to redirect the youth to look into something that will benefit them.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And another thing, maybe just to add, OBK, and maybe rectify to say, I heard you say someone has already sent the CV.
Yeah.
We should also question listener to say, we were not like opening an employment agency. They can keep those CVs. What we hear from this platform, or we are using this platform to give them information about opportunities that are out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Just to question the listener. Remember, this is coming from a qualified journalist. So you'll be questioned. There's another WhatsApp that's coming in there. Good morning. I'm Teboho Sekaulelo from Sir Duncan Production. We would like to request. No, that's not the platform. That's not the space. And now, but let me come to you, Dr. Brink, in a moment. Now, there seem to be. I think it was touched quite fleetingly on, but it's something I want you to expand on a little bit there. There's a message there that I'm a graduate from tax. Do I benefit from this particular initiative? Do you want to get into that, Doctor?
Oh, yes, they will definitely benefit from it. All the students will benefit from Plucker Graduate because on this platform, you will be introduced to listen to different industry members. There will be, I know there's going to be a guest one of these days from LinkedIn, where they will show the students how you can do extra courses and how to prepare yourself better for the world of work. So definitely it's not just for TUT students. This is a massive initiative from the radio station and from Advancement's office and from my office, is to prepare the students and to give them tools. That's a very important word.
Right.
We're going to give them the tools to prepare them better for the world of work. And we're going to link them with industry members. We're going to link them to successful alumni telling their successful stories. And they can always learn from that and take that and be successful in their journey.
I see, just by virtue of the WhatsApp messages that are coming in, it speaks to exactly what you've been saying. We have a real problem here. A lot of people who have graduated and are badly looking for that job. Some are saying, since I've graduated, I never got a chance. It can knock anybody's mind if nothing is done around that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to say, I read some statistics a week ago. There's 30.2% students unemployed in the country with a qualification. That includes a certificate, a diploma, a degree, all those qualifications. There's 30.2% students unemployed in this country.
Sure.
And if we don't break the silos and we don't stand together as a country, we're not going to solve the problem. We need to train our students and have conversations like this tonight and give them the skills through the people coming to this and having conversations so that the students can also learn from this and know what to prepare for the world of work.
Sure. I want you to add in there, because this is really soul destroying. I mean, to think you pass your matric, right there you think I'm into tertiary education, and this doctor, I'll refer to Ms. Shalate here with us in the studio, is that once it gets to a point where you graduate at a higher learning institution, you seem to think this is the world, totally my oyster. This should break the spirit of any learner to be at a point where you actually should be getting a job and you are not.
OBK, TUT by its virtue of being an academically inclusive university and a financially inclusive university, it brings us to a situation where you find our students are struggling with paying their fees.
Right.
And after you've gone through the struggle of paying your fees and living expenses, and owing your fees, you are unable to even change the situation. They're not necessarily changing their personal situation. We understand our history.
Right.
They're changing the situation at home. They're gonna go back home, and you get back home, you've left some people who have decided to drop off school, and you're in the same position as them. That can make you feel that I've just wasted my time.
Sure.
And the other pressure is that you see your colleagues or your former alumni, former classmates progressing. Because, life, we like popcorns. We don't always pop at the same time. It can be really, really frustrating. It is for that reason that we want to reskill you. Opportunities for reskilling. Opportunities for mental health. We're going to be having psychologists to assist us on how to deal with the situation when you are still waiting for an opportunity. Yes, there would be an opportunity. You would apply, you would send a CV, maybe get an opportunity to have an interview, but how to cope while waiting, we'll be getting entrepreneurs to assist us in, with your qualification, the knowledge that you have gotten from your class. How can you evolve that into something that can assist you with making money?
Right.
We will be getting in touch with NGOs, NPOs, NPCs that are actually having some of those opportunities for not only graduates but for community members.
Yeah.
We will be having people that can assist you with dealing with addiction. We will be having people that would be assisting you to prepare for exams, to assist you with dealing with grief. People go through a lot. It's not that people are not, there is a saying that hurts me so much, they say South Africans are lazy.
Yeah.
If you can see where there's a job opening and they're actually looking for maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people and they have to physically drop CVs, you'll find a queue of more than 10,000 applications.
Yeah, sure.
And it's not that people are lazy. People are seeking opportunities, but we need to get experts to show them how to be, on top of your game.
Yeah.
Everyone has a skill. We must not entirely depend on our community. And I'm saying this with a caution. I'm saying entirely depend on our qualification.
Yeah.
You can use your skills, your talents to complement your qualification. In some roles like public relations and journalism, personality plays a very critical role on who the employer employs.
Right.
You can have the best CV, the highest marks, and some experience, but you realize that this position or this role requires a certain kind of personality. And the other person with even, a much lesser requirement might get the role.
Exactly.
So it's important
Yeah.
to fix ourselves in certain areas, to improve ourselves. Continuous improvement is key. So it's things like that we want to let our graduates, our community members, and also bring our entrepreneurs on board.
Yeah.
I know people in social media, the entrepreneurs, they are very willing to support initiatives like that. But further to that, we won't be sitting only here in the studio. We'll be going out and doing activations in campuses, across all our 11 campuses in all our the provinces where our campuses are. But we'll be doing also activations in communities.
Yes. Whew. I'm not sure, Doctor, if you want to add anything there, especially on the point that Ms. Shalate was touching on, how all this is somebody who has graduated who never got a job can easily be led into addiction. I see you thought comprehensively around that as well. What does it do to somebody who thought, I've run the race, now I deserve the reward, only to bump into a hard rock here of unemployment, Doctor? What does it do to an individual like that?
It emotionally, mentally, a lot. But that's why it's so important to have the support, and this is why we're trying through this plug to give the students the support. It's not easy to find a job. But if we stand together, we can. And I've put the link on the chat that you can share with the student.
Yeah.
Please register your CVs on placement.tut.ac.za. If you go on that link, you will find that place where you can register your CV, and then as soon as we find job opportunities, then we can forward the CVs to the companies. But it's not easy in South Africa, and that's why we need to throw the box away and just think widely, and get involved with voluntary work.
Right.
You can't expect, if you receive a qualification, that you're going to get a massive salary, and that is sometimes I experience the problem. The students think that if they receive a qualification, that they can walk in and they can demand a salary of 20,000 or 30,000 rand. Sometimes you need to be humble and start at the ground level.
Yeah.
And accept that 10,000 Rand or 6,000 Rand a month to get the experience on your CV, to get the necessary skills. In a year or two, you have the skills and you have the experience on your CV, then you can apply for another job and you can be promoted even in that company. But sometimes I really find that the students think that I have this qualification, this degree, I can get 30,000 Rand. So I always tell the students, be humble, take the first opportunity and learn from it. It's a learning experience and you need to start somewhere. You can't start at the top. You need to start at the bottom and work yourself up, because then the company will see that you are really, and never stop learning. There's so many courses online for free.
Yeah.
Go and do those courses that is extra to your qualification. That can add as additional qualifications and experience, and the companies will see that you are eager to learn. So it's very important also, and what I said to the students, start with a voluntary job. Don't think that you must be the top in a company if you receive a qualification. Like I said in the beginning, your qualification is mere a driver's license for you to say you can drive this car. But you still need to get that experience to be an excellent driver.
There you go. And 14 exactly. Make it 19 and a half before the hour 9. We're going to take a quick ad break. We'll stay with our guest right up until the top of the hour at 9. And when I'm out of the studio, I suppose Putim Sazasi will step in between the hour 9 and 12. It is the date night show. Let's take a break. We're back.
The ground break.
It's exactly 14 and a half before the hour 9. We're 14 minutes away before the end of the show. Let me try and see if we do have Albert, who works very closely with Dr. Brink, and check if he's on the line to us. Albert, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Are you there? Albert, are you there? All right. Albert, are you there? Albert? Sure. We seem to have lost Albert there, but wanted to get his sense as far as his thoughts on this. As they work on that, though, let me try and see if we can bring in Shalate, in fact, to address one of the questions that we actually had here, as our producers and technicians are working, as I said, diligently to get that communication happening. Yes, one question that's coming to you, Shalate, is one person who's saying, I'm a TUT graduate working at a very good banking company. How do I plug people in from TUT FM? I see you already beaming with smiles. This is something you'd like to hear, wouldn't you?
I want to scream with happiness. And yeah, as Ms. K was saying, these are the kind of responses we've been getting.
Right.
We'd like him to connect with us at alumni@tut.ac.za.
Right.
And subject line, plug a graduate opportunity. Yeah.
There you go. Hope you got your answers. Let's try Albert now, see if he's on a much better line. Albert, are you there? Albert? I may have to accept here that we can't find Albert on the line to us. We are exactly 10 minutes, in fact 5 minutes before we wrap. It would have been quite important to have him on the line, Albert, just to get a proper sense from his office. I know he works very closely with Dr. Roelien Brink to make sure that you are plugged, safe to say. But I can't find him. I can't really find him, and we're not going to, I don't know, try and see what you can do there, simply to get Alfred on the line. I'd like to have him coming through. But in a moment, though, let me ask Ms. Shalate, or maybe I can send this to Ms. Kedibone Mahapa. Again, What would you say to the listeners, Mahapa? I mean, it's going to be a journey that's continuing. It's not just a once-off. We're going into another Wednesday where we'll be discussing matters of this particular nature. Officially, I see you breathing lightly now that we've gotten off to a start. What do you tell the listener on a day like this?
Okay, thank you, OBK. OBK, I want to say gone are those days where our fellow sisters have been unlocking their doors, job opportunities using their bodies. There's a lot. We do have victims out there.
True.
So this is the right platform. Is they stick with Plug a Graduate.
Right, sure. And has raised a key point, isn't it, of people who had to, without having any choice, as if they didn't go to school, had to use other very regrettable means to get a job. An important point there been raised by Mahapa, Miss Sawani?
Yeah, OBK, I just want to talk to somebody who's sitting at the moment and has been listening and has heard our profiles. And they think highly of us. I want to share my story. I come from a family of 5, and when it was my turn to go to tertiary, I'm the 4th or the 5th.
Okay.
That is when my parents were laid off.
Right.
So when I tell my story, I say I started my life with a 5 rand coin. Now my home is just, behind TUT. It's in Block K.
Right.
So my mother she was sweeping, magogo with kakiba, and she just gave me a 5 rand coin. I then had to make a decision whether I'm gonna take a taxi, 250 each trip, or I'm just gonna walk across Block M over the hill and queue and use that money for food, because technology at that point was not evolved, so we were not registering or applying online. So I decided to take that money and use it for food, because I didn't know how long the queues were going to be. What I'm trying to say is that you might be thinking you are in the worst situation, and you might be thinking that you are talking from a silver spoon.
Yes.
We are not. We have been in the situation that some of our graduates find themselves in today. I have had my, portions of unemployment. I think 2 or 3 times I was unemployed. And I know how it feels like not to be unemployed. So I'm saying you can also do it. We are saying that is why this is important. This is personal to me. To say, let's help you, but help us to help you.
Sure.
You are not in the most it's not the end of the world.
True.
It might feel like it, but it's not.
Very important message. In fact, we are 7 minutes away. Make it 6 as I speak to you. It does change. Mahapa, your final message, and I'll bring in Doctor in a moment, but your message to everyone who's been listening.
Same as what Dr. Brink was alluding to say. Most of the people, we are very impatient. Without knowing that, God is still preparing, us in other opportunities that are yet to come. I volunteered as a co-founder of radio station for 4 years without getting a salary.
Sure.
And I was building a career.
Every
time, sometimes when they say we don't have a news reader today, I'd say I'll step in. But today, the client is waiting for the advert. The sound engineer is not yet. I'll I'll step in. That's how I acquired my experience and climbed the ladder. So we also need to be patient. And lastly, this program is going to be on YouTube as a podcast. And then we also streaming online. Let those that are listening, spread the gospel. Next week, Wednesday, we'll be hosting Makwande.
Okay.
Shalate will explain.
Please.
We'll explain.
Please finish
Makwande is. give a bit of a profile about who Makwande is.
Thank you very much, Mahapa, for being part and parcel of the conversation. Has been the most difficult 2 hours of my life. Thank you very much for coming into the studio nonetheless. Mr. Makwande coming in, or is that a Miss Makwande? Clarify that for us and finish us with the details around that particular personality.
I don't want to spoil the surprise and butcher his profile, but what I want to say is that he's a bomb. Makwande is one of our exceptional alumni. He's a founder of Makwande Careers, and I'd like also you and all our listeners to follow him on a LinkedIn. He shares careers opportunities and job opportunities. He also has online sessions where he shares skills on how to improve yourself and so forth. So he'll be coming in to share not only job opportunities but to help prepare potential employees. How can you prepare yourself? How to prepare your CVs? And if you can really follow his profile on LinkedIn, you can see how many lives he has impacted.
Right.
He has assisted people to prepare for interviews and they got the job.
Yeah.
He has assisted people to prepare CVs and they were invited for interviews.
Right.
Of course, I would assume that because he's a business, he does it at a fee. But he has said, I can come and give back to the institution through a radio show to advise job seekers how can they actually help themselves to take
Okay.
Oh, Barracuda English. At some point, they are fail. It's not our first language. But he'll be coming here to help us navigate through the tough world of unemployment and how can we be best positioned to not be overlooked at a time when we want to look for jobs.
An institution that is fit for purpose. When they talk about an institution that is fit for purpose, you always hear the government coming with programs and they are always missing the point. And this is something you always get from a forward-thinking, forward-looking institution. Doctor, thank you so much. Kedibone, thank you so much for your time as well.
Thank
All right, Shalate, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for hosting us.
All right. The two haven't told us their stories. You cannot believe it. You cannot believe it. They are looking properly clad, proper makeup, proper hairstyles. You cannot believe their story. You cannot tie their stories to how they look now. And they are a living testimony of how you can also start that journey and get where they are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Obakeng Moeketsi. Thanks to the team. Lesecha has been here working tirelessly. The likes of Sipo here as well. Khonze, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to you at home for taking time to listen to us. Remember what I always say. You don't stop because you are tired. You stop because you are done. Good night.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.